Hey, what's up, people? This is Bronx Mike coming at you. We are building a LIMS, which is a laboratory information management system. We are using Supabase for the back end, this which is a business term, not a computer science term. Meaning the server, pretty much the database, right? And then we are using for the front end, we are using Unity 3D, which is cool and all that. Hold on, let me make sure this is, yeah, I think it looks good. Yeah. Yeah. So that's we're using Unity 3D game engine, right? Why are we using that, right? So in the past, if you look it up, right, it says Unity uses up too much memory, the file size is too big, what have you. And then you have um, to do web app better. It'll be better for this, right? So let me do an argument on that, right? Now, Unity 3D has been going, it's like, I don't know, like more than 10 years old, maybe 15, maybe 20. I forgot how long ago when I started. I started using Unity when it first started, when it first came out. Um, I have an argument about that, right? So we have, first of all, a lot of the mobile devices use a lot of 3D GPUs now. So that's one off. And the other one is the JavaScript memory size is comparable now. It's maybe Unity 3D most definitely probably goes up a little bit more. But the thing about it, it is faster. It is faster when the user use it. And when if you're programming correctly, like not using the update functions, but using events all the time, um yeah, it'll run faster than the web version of it, which when you do download the app, if it uses Angular, Vue, React, whatever, that's still web, right? That's still HTML, still all that. That's web technologies, which is really really old already. Okay. So then as you see later on, I'll be displaying the frame rates, FPS, and it's like above 100, constantly above 100. We have the plugins that we're using. We're using enhanced scroller and table layout for, well, enhanced scroller for the scrolling. It recycles the scrolling, so you don't have to do. You're not creating the UI over and over again for if you have a long list. What you're doing is you're recycling the top and you're recycling the bottom, right? So it just runs real fast. All you're doing is just replacing the data in those UI, right? In those UIs entities, right? Containers. And then we're using table layout to make sure that we have a consistent nice looking table layout. Later on we're gonna we have the filtering, we have the display, but we need to do the order, right? And we'll figure out that later on as we do it. Let's just get the basics in there first, right? So basically, what we're working on right now is just the sample scene. Everything that has to do with a sample, such as create a sample, edit a sample, delete a sample, and then what you guys gonna be probably we're gonna be testing that, and we're gonna see if my code is correct. It isn't correct. We gotta fix it. This is just uh, like I said. Don't worry about it. I had managers before said that you have to get it right the first time. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's fucking bullshit. Those people probably have jealousy or intimidation issues or whatever. They're just soft. They're soft. That's not the way you do it. That definitely is not the way you do it. You have to, just like a writer, you have to draft things out, look at your code, look at what you wrote, uh, fix grammar errors, fix spelling errors. You're not gonna get it right the first time. You are definitely. If people are telling you this shit, it's because, like I said, they're either jealous because they're not coders like you, or they have a grudge against you or something like that. Don't believe the hype. That's what I'm saying. Don't believe the hype. The motherfucking hype. Or they want to replace you with AI or something like that, something stupid like that. And even AI don't get it right the first time. I'm telling you right now, don't believe the hype. All right. So yeah, so you're gonna have to work through your code again and again and again. You're gonna have to look at the requirements again, again and again, because in order to meet the target, right? Now LIMS, right? Now LIMS is a laboratory information management system. All right, and basically is when you go to the doctor and they take a sample of your PP or your blood or your spit or your stool sample or what have you, right? Your hair sample, whatever. That gets placed in the database, and this is what we're making. We're making a interface for a database that just get put in there, right? So most web apps, right? We might think they're cool and all that, and they're the daddy's knees or whatever, the cat's knees, whatever, right? So what basically they are, it's just a front end for a database. That's all basically most apps are that, right? Unless you're playing a video game where there's like a lot of interactivity and all that, right? So it's basically just a front end for the for a database, right? So treat it as so. Okay, you might, we might make it look nicer or whatever, but that's basically what it is. All right. And then the other issue that we have to kill all myths and 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 doubts, right? Um what we have is we can make it more fun, we can make it more AI, but we could use more AI. We got to add our features. Okay, so basically, the features that we want to add once the basics are down. Again, once we have a solid basic, right? You don't want to move on from that and then go back and just readjust this. Right? We want it to run like a regular limbs first, right? Albeit without the baggage, right? All right. So it was a joke in there that I was gonna say, but basically nobody wants to date an older person. They want to date a younger person because they have less baggage, and you could manipulate it as think about it about it that way, right? So a lot of the limbs in the chats and everywhere else people had brought up they hate the limbs that they're working on now. They have to support the limbs because but there is so much they're so buggy because the reason why they're buggy is because a lot of these apps, right? They're they ain't got nowhere to go. Really. What it is uh the healthcare mafia. They don't want to move on because they already put a lot of investment into these apps, and these apps they want them to keep them as long as possible so they get their return on investment, right? And then after they get the return on investment, they want some more. Oh, correct. So what happens is they have a lot of old adage stuff that they put in there and they refuse to move it, or they don't want to remove it, or they don't want to change the UI because changing the UI would mean changing a front end here or a library there, which would cost them a lot of trouble, and they got to pay programmers a lot of money to keep the maintenance. So basically, they didn't keep the maintenance on it. Okay. Now, as a disruptor, which we should all be, that's that's the basic premise of capitalism, right? We don't want crony capitalism, we want regular capitalism. Hey, what's up, Lady Rain? How you doing? All right, glad you're here. Basically, you're a disruptor. You make a better product, or you try to make a better product. You make a product so much better that they have no choice but to take you on. That's it, pretty much. All right. So going back where we were before. Okay, so oh, that's okay. Don't worry about being late the last stream. I'm just glad you're here. All right. So basically, let's hit run on this, and then I'm gonna show you what we did with it. The last time sample window. Last time we didn't have any of this, right? So I'm glad we got this one. Oh yeah, I was sorry for the late 1 week not doing any videos. I had a stomach ache for not stomach ache. I had a stomach virus for the past week, and that's why you hear my voice a little groggy, croaky, and froggy type throat. All right, so here we go. Let's hit play here. Sit your ass down and learn. Also, this is an adult show. We're gonna curse every once in a while because we're nonchalant like that. If you want something really, really polished, I guess I ain't got nothing for you. All right. So here we go. We got the samples, right? First we start off with listing the samples, right? Then we have a sample types. This is the list of the sample types. We got this one working. Right, we're gonna clear these. We're gonna make this clear filters a little smaller, but I guess it looks good like that. Nothing happens when you click the sample types yet because we ain't got up to that yet. And then we have the recent activities. We're gonna fill that in also. Then we got the queue. Okay, now the queue, what's gonna do is gonna yeah. The queue, what it's gonna do is gonna gives you a list of samples where they're at, right? Who's gonna be working on it? It's gonna who's assigned to, where's the next department's gonna go and all that, right? And then we have the quick action tables, which we're gonna add. We're gonna have to add sample type, and we'll make this look prettier too, because this kind of looks kind of bummy. All right, so here we go. So we got this part working. So we got, oh, when we click on a row, we get the actual row data, right? Okay, we get the row data, and that's get filled in there. And then we got the edit data. So we get the same data here, but except we could delete, we could edit some stuff, right? We can't edit all of it, but we can edit some stuff. All right. And so I haven't tested this yet, so this is a good time to test it now in front of you guys, which is it's cool. And then we have the audit trail. Now the audit trail is just shows we could change this for whatever the customer want, or we might make this dynamic so the customer gets to choose which one, or the user gets to choose which columns to display. But for right now, we just got the basics, right? It was done by test user one, two, three, four. And then here, as you can see, we overlap some stuff, but we got something wrong here, which is good. I could show you bugs, so I could show you too. And then we have the refresh button. So you want to hit refresh. Really, we shouldn't hit refresh. I don't know if you want to make this into a listener, a real-time listener, or not. But if it's a real-time listener, there's a limit to how many real-time listeners you have. So you try not to make all of them, put all of them in one shot. But for this one, what you usually would do is once you click on that, once you click off of that, you should turn off the listener. And once you click on it, you turn on the listener. And that way it doesn't hog up the whole thing, right? And don't forget to turn off listeners because you could cause a memory leak, right? Even in C sharp. But if it's a memory leak in C sharp, then the garbage collector collects and you take too long. It takes too, you make hiccups. Okay. All right, here goes the, as I promised, the stats, the frames per second, it is above 100, as you can see, right? See, okay, when you roll, it goes down a little bit, but once it settles, it goes down to 100, which is not that bad. You can't really tell because it's just so fast. All right, and then you got the chain of custody, right? That's also a real-time listener if you want to make it, okay? And the change of custody will tell you the location, uh, who's the owner right now. The owner right now is test user 1000, then the test user 900 was passed to them, then it was passed to them. And this is just all test data anyway. It's just so you guys could okay, so when you're developing, you have to do a lot of test data anyway. It's for stress tests anyway, so just do it as you go, as you need it, right? All right, so here we go, and now we are going to. Oh yeah, let's see if our things work, right? All right, so let's make a change to see if it works. If it doesn't work, we figure out why it's not working, and then we could at the same time look at the code. So we click on here, we turn on this turns on sample window. Now content manager, sample window. Here we go, sample view window, right? Refresh button. We didn't add that. Right, that's all saved. You shouldn't. Okay, so the first view is just saved, right? I'm calling it saved, but it's just because you could call it sample, just a sample, right? And basically, you don't want it to be able to change, make a change here, because you want users to have more than one click in order to make a change, right? So we hit save. That's the first panel that they see, right? In order to make a change, that physically have to press edit, right? Change something and then save. That'll be 3 clicks that they need to do. So it is, they have to make it on purpose. It's not by accident, right? So basically we are going to add a description and let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, then we have to debug, work at it, right? And then you might want to have the not might, you should have your actual database up and running uh page, and I'll show you that in a minute, and then we could see if it actually changed it on a database. So saved. Okay, I don't have anything that says that we saved it. We should add that. You see, it's not saving it at all. Let's see. Okay, then we show over here, and then we click on here and see. No, didn't save it at all. All right, let's see what's going on then. Okay, this is why we go through this stuff, right? So just make sure that we get to see what's going on. All right, so what is it? We content manager, Windows, saved. Oh no, we got. Oh, we in edit. Yeah, it's in edit. All right, so we go here. We go with the save button. We have a save button, which is actually working, and then we go here to our edit. All right. So make sure we're in our sample edit panel script, which we are. And then we're gonna go to the button section, and we'll save button, and then we add listener on save. All right, we hit the stopper right here, and we press. And we try to change the description again. Give it a second while it's working. Okay, we're up and running, and save. Right, save. Oh, stopper didn't work. All right. Anyway, let me see what the console says. Console says anything. Save. Uh, 1 second. Description, pool description, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not saved. We want description, just a description. All right. Scroll down, and then I hit save again and see if it works. No. Updated successfully. It says it's updated successfully, but why are we not seeing the change in the uh in the UI? Maybe because we didn't update the UI. Okay, so set loading. We set the loading. Clear feedback. Clear feedback. Back test. Oh, okay, the feedback. All right. Update. We don't have a feedback on our UI. Update. Boom, boom, boom. Sample name. Sample name. Success. It was successful. Samples updated successfully. Yep. But we're not updating. Yeah, we're not updating or refreshing the actual thing, right? So, okay, so let's see here. All right. Let's go ahead and speed that up. All right. Which one? We took the first one? Okay. Oh, come on. Mm-hmm. Stop this right here. Give me 1 second. And then let's look at the actual sample. All right, stop. Okay, fine. Okay, let me get another window just for the uh give me 1 second. Another all right, let me make another window just for the database. So you guys can see the database. Uh, yeah, there we go. Okay, dokie, and then we transform the screen. Yeah, that's good. All right, so fade. There we go. All right, so let's look at this again. Maybe we have to probably make it refresh again. Oh, that's what we're not doing. We are not refreshing after we update this. Come on. Oh, sorry about that, folks. All right, and let me lower this down. Down. All right, so we clicked on this before, we edited, then we go into description. Yeah, see, description is there. Okay, so that's the last change that I made, which is right there. Sorry about that. Which is right there. But what we are not doing is refreshing all the UI. So since we don't know which one the user is going to update to, we're going to have to refresh the whole UI. Okay, that makes sense? All right. Okay. So the problem with that was, let me see. We'll go check this out. All right. Let's check this out. Right. I believe. Yeah. So load a sample from server. Yeah. I'm glad I finally we got it. So we have to load the example from the server again. All right. So after we save, we just grab this thing right here. Right, and let's just go back to save. Okay, on save, we clear the feedback, right? And then we change on success, refresh example. We are refreshing the example. Original sample, boom, boom, boom. Sample service, boom. Show edit. Okay, so what's wrong? Okay, we are getting it. Original sample, barcode. Why are we on not? Do we have description on here? No, we don't have description. That's why we don't see description. That makes some really description, 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 description. See, doesn't matter. We always have a freaking bug. And things like this is gonna happen. This is a major application. You're gonna make mistakes. Don't fall for. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna put the description in. I forgot to put the description. All right, let's see if it works this time. But again, you're gonna have to check to see if anything else is in the description. But you guys get to see it, right? I don't want to cheat you out of the code, right? So this is how you making a SQL query for Supabase, which is just query. So you say you got these key $ at, and then make a query, and then samples. It's the table where you want to do, and you want to say where. That's your where clause, right? Barcode equals dot 10 ether. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but I was rushing through this code too much, as you can tell, because I didn't put in description. All right, so this if it doesn't, that's great. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just content for me to give to you guys. You know, I don't want to be the dev that gets everything perfect, like I'm an actor on TV. You're gonna come into a lot of. I gotta show you as many mistakes as I do as I can. All right. So okay. So we're gonna edit, right? Okay. We got the sample saved already, so we know we're gonna. Okay. So that's our description, which was SSS. Now I'm gonna say, "Hi, lady." I'm gonna make sure I spelled it right. Rain. Okay. Hi, Lady Rain. Hey, Lady Rain. Okay, so I'm gonna save it and let's see if it says save successful. Yep, and we got it. Yay! We got it right. We got it right. But what we're missing is the update text, right? So we kind of need to get the update text. Let me make sure that's up there. Okay, now the update text, I really don't want to put it on the list because you may, like I said, like you may not be paying attention to that. I want it just to be a pop-up, right? So do we have a pop-up display? Let me see. You Evo. I got the Evo UI, and then we're gonna say notification and notification default. Is that correct? Right? Yeah. Okay. Then we want to make sure that we have it right. Let's just open this sample window here. All right. No. All right. And then we wanna. What was it? Second. What was that? I think I did it wrong. Oh, here it goes. Notification. We just want this notification to be here, right? And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it here, do it here. We on the edit. We on the edit. Yeah, we're on edit. Yeah. Window manager. We're on window one here. We're on edit. Now we are on. It's a notification. I just had it. Oh, here it goes. Notification, and then notification should be layout. Sorry about that. Layout. Actually, no. That's the problem with that one. All right, so we're gonna take this out. We're gonna say Evo. I got this nice Evo notification. There we go. Notification, right? We want a notification. Let me go to scene. Right? Got notification right here. And what we want to write in it. Okay. Does it have a script? Content. No. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was me. Yeah, yeah, you learn from your mistakes, man. When people are just trying to tell you that you got to get it right the first time, they don't got your back, man. They're just freaking lying to you. They're just nitpicking. We all have that experience, right? So I don't want to go down that road, but yeah, it's not cool, man. Okay, so icon, we could have icon, title, text. All right, just to speed. Okay, so this would be a good. Okay, this is the Evo UI plugin, right? And so what we can do is set this to false. I mean, set this to not be displayed in the beginning, right? And so on content era, right, we have a loading indicator and a feedback indicator, right? This is what we want our feedback indicator to be. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go here, just the quickest one. You could description, right? That's what we want to do, right? But in order to wake this up, we need to add some more content to our script, which is this way, right? Okay. So what do you do? I'll give you an example, right? Well, let's say you want to take up a martial arts class, right? Jiu-jitsu, right? So what should be the first thing you do, right? Besides listen to the teacher, right? You're gonna have to wrestle, correct? You're gonna have to get in there. So what you're gonna do? You're gonna be like, I don't want to make a mistake, so I'm not gonna wrestle. I'm just gonna watch first. Blah 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 blah. Watch for five. Yeah, that's good and all. For about a month, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. That's good. But the best way to learn is to actually get in there and start making mistakes and start tapping out and start. You see what I'm saying? Else you're never gonna get it right. You know. That's what I'm saying. So when you meet people who tell you things like you need to get it right the first time, tell them to shut up, bro. Lock it off. You know what I'm saying? Yep, jump in and do it until you get it right. That's right. Okay, notification. I mean, you could make this more complicated if you want notification object. But I suggest you don't. But I mean, take advantage of plugins. Again, Now, people who say you have to, yeah, it's great when you're first learning that you have to start stuff from scratch. You got to write things from scratch. But hey, man, this is not 1982. 1982. You have to. Uh, you're cool ass martial arts teacher too. Man, I taught you a lot of stuff, didn't I? All right. Uh, object. Okay, let me make sure this is done. If notification object is not equal to no, always check for no, and always test for failure first before you test for success. Okay. Notification. Set active self. True. Okay, this doesn't have to be in order because if you want it to be in order, if you're one of those people, that's fine. But you don't have to set it for order. Okay, and then the same thing again. Okay, right, set to false. All right, and then okay, and then when you go back here, you just assign the reference to it. Assign the reference to it, which is going to be, this is our notification, that's our content, and this is going to be, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Ah, here, notification object, right? All right. So let's start this up and see where we at. All right. Let me get the windows. Sample window. And just press play and let's see how it goes. Yeah. Um, I know it could be boring, but hey, I mean, um, this is our niche software, right? And if you could get in it, it's lucrative, you know. Um, right? So we click on here, we said edit, and at the same time we're showing people if you want to take an interest in this and you want it to be uh, it to work like you want it to, uh, just give some feedback, right? The other one is later on we're gonna add a scripting language, visual scripting language, so people could put their own workflow to make their own workflow. Check it out. Okay, let me see. Make sure it works. Did it work? No, it didn't work. No. Did I assign it? I believe I assigned it. So scripting. Yeah, notification. Yeah. Oh, maybe I didn't set it right. Sometimes I do that, man. I don't know what I set. Oh, yeah, you see. That's what's the false. That's set to true. And that's set to true. And do we have it assigned? Yeah, we have it assigned. We have it assigned. But we don't have the feedback assigned. Okay. Description. Actual feedback. No, okay. That's what I had wrong. Okay, so what I need, the spinner was my spinner. Okay, I'm just looking for the spinner object here. Oh, it don't seem like we have one. All right, so edit. I'm gonna make a spinner object since we don't. So Evo spinner radio. All right, and then make sure it's in the right place. Yeah, it's in the right place. And then we go up here, audit trail, audit trail. Yeah, we have it in the right place. Yes, we do. And then what we're gonna do is gonna assign it content, content over here. Assign it spinner. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. I put the wrong references. Like I said again, man, you're gonna make mistakes like this all day long. So get over yourself and just start to work. Don't worry about making mistakes. Just keep on going. It's like boxing and martial arts or whatever. You get hit, don't stand there. I got hit. I got nope. Keep on going. All right. All right. Check it out. That's working. Awesome. Okay. Get the that worked, but the notification didn't appear. Let me see. Oh, we're not gonna see the notification anyway because this is has to be drawn up here. No, no, we're not. Content spinner has to be in content. It has to be in the content. That's why. All right, so I got it right. I got it wrong. So what happens is we have to put it in the content. Spinner has to be in the content, and it has to be after all that stuff here. And let me double check to make sure it looks nice. Right, and then we go over here. Windows Manager, we move on to 1. Here we go. Okay, where is our notification? Here we go. Our notification should be here. And we got notification title. We have to say something like status or something like that. Whatever you want to make up. Status, right? All right. And then, okay, that we don't need nothing else. That's the last thing that we see. Then our content. We make sure description is down there. Okay. Notification is there. Okay. Radio is working. We know radio, the spinner is working. All right. And so let's just make sure that our, oh, sorry, I wasn't showing the thing. Okay. So what I did was I moved, yeah, it's in. Okay. So in our edit tab, which we are here in our edit tab, right? Now, edit tab right here, I made sure that notification was it is in there and it can be seen, as you can see, is overlaid on top, and then the spinner one is overlaid on top as well. And then when I click here and I make sure that the notification is referenced, the spinner is referenced, and the description is referenced, right? We have to turn off the notification because that's part of the logic. We have to turn off the spinner, which is part of the logic, and then we go back into our code to make sure that we are referencing it. Hey, Lady Rain, remember I showed you programming? Did we use Unity back then? Do you know? I think I did, right? Because it was easy for me to teach you how to do left, right, up and down. If you press left, if you press right, right? I remember that. Yes, it was Unity. Oh, okay, so Unity is that old. Wow. Yeah, I remember it was easier because you had a visual. I taught you visual, right? Because usually computer science, they make you do abstract thinking, which is cool and all. But if you have it on screen, it's just easier for kids to get into, and then they could do the abstract stuff. Yeah, I remember. Okay, so I want to make sure its feedback text is not equal to no, which is not. Okay, so something's wrong with my code here somewhere. Show success. Okay, let's do it one more time. If not, we'll go back to it. Yeah, visual. Yeah, a lot of kids are not gonna understand the abstract stuff until later on. Like if you show them how it is visually, then you could just go back to the abstract concept and they'll get it right away. If not, they're not gonna get it, or they won't care, right? Because it's not fun. Okay, so here we go. All right. Okay, here we go. We got all this right here, and then change this something up. Let me. No, dude, we're not. We are not. Nope, it's not even turning on. All right, let me see. Something's got to be wrong with this. All right. You know what? Maybe I'm not, because we did reference it. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like magic to the kids if you could just show them a piece of graphics or piece of a picture that, and that's why I told you guys to pick a picture from the uh internet or make your own picture and see how your art moves around. Yeah. I remember the other teachers didn't like that at all. I'm like, yeah, but you don't do computer science. You know what I'm saying? Oh wait, back text. What is this? Yeah. Yeah, you're amazed about your own creation being moved around the screen. Who wouldn't be amazed by that? You know? Anybody would be amazed by that. So I think it's because of this. I'm not sure. Maybe. All right, let's see. Yeah. All right. I think we're doing something wrong here. All right. Shouldn't be that hard. Okay. All right. Edit. Edit. Audit trails. If it doesn't work, we'll go back. No, it's not even turning. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It is turning on. Like for 2 seconds. Yeah. It's turning on for 2 seconds, but we need it to last longer than 2 seconds. All right. So. All right. So go back. All right. Go back. I keep forgetting to bring this down. Go back. Okay. Clear feedback. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this for right now because this is an exercise in UX. All right, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna delete the notification. I'm gonna go back to the list, and on the bottom, what I'm gonna do is this. Okay, we're at the bottom, right? At the bottom, okay, scroll bar. Oh no, that's the scroll bar for this. This is the scroll bar. Scroll bar. At this point right here, when you hit save, right? I am going to description, move that down. I'm gonna move that from status, status, and then we're gonna leave this here, and then we're gonna need a double click on here, text, this text, text, right? So you guys see it right there. So what I'm gonna do is gonna change that from 0, the layout, right? That makes it big, and then what I'm gonna do is gonna go back to content, and that's gonna be our status. Okay, that's gonna be our status. We don't need that. It's gonna be status text, which is gonna be right here, and then go back to the code. Right, go back to the top. Ooh, sorry if I'm sweating. It's because I still have the fever. Okay, okay, we'll get rid of this. I got it right. Do I have it right? Do I have it right? Do I have it right? Yep. No more other code. No more other errors. I have you tabbed for a bit. Oh, okay, no problem. All right, so all right, so I'm gonna see if everything works. Fine. All right. Mic and save. No sample to save. Yeah, we got a sample to save. What the hell are you talking about? I know. Hmm. Why is this no sample to save? Now that I changed something very, very small. So we're gonna save. What's the button for save? Oh, save button. Save. Show error original button. Hmm. Mhm. So now we have a problem here. Let me see. Update button, save button, save buttons. No button to save. Come on. Go back to where was that? Save. Put a stopper there. We got a stopper there already. Let's go. Oh, I forgot. We check. Okay. So this run play on that. Edit. Why you open up an edit window? Okay. Why is it doing that? All right. So let's go back up. Why? Oh, okay. So there. All right. Let me go. Oh, fuck. Sorry, guys. I keep forgetting to drop this down. All right. Maybe this is what's going on with it. Okay. All right. So now let's make sure we have a ID. It's not loading up. Okay, so what's going on here with our code here? All right, let's go back to edit. Sample edit panel on save, on settings, on load. Let me see on load. Original sample. This is very, very weird. Okay. Destroy. Oh, why did you do that? All right. So what I did was, I don't know why it disappeared. Probably I didn't save it or whatever. So what I did was I used sample parent. All right. So basically we are doing. So what we're doing is we was doing a callback, but since the callback isn't working, what I'm gonna do is just gonna make a hard reference to it, which I don't like because we're trying to decouple the code, which is you should do it early on. But it's not working, so I'm gonna have to do it. Okay, let's just sample window, parent window, sample parent window, boom, right? Which is weird to me because I definitely remember fixing it. All right, so sample edit panel, remove all panels, remove all listeners. There we go. Request parent panel. All right. Okay, so then on sample, right? Oh, I did get rid of it just now. Else, um, I'll just do this. Sorry, I'm from the old school. Else if uh sample parent window equal to null, right? Show edit to parent. Sample. Okay, that should fix everything. All right, that was my fault. I reversed it. All right, so we go back here. Okay, then we'll show you, and then after this, I have to take a bathroom and water break, and I'll be back in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Then we move on from this. And that's it. I think that should be done. All right. Yep, we got it. It's working. All right. So the status is just enter received by Mike. And then we should see the status up there. Update. No sample. It's driving me nuts. So do we have hey Lady Rain? Yeah, okay, we are getting it, but we're not getting it here. All right, so hold on a second. Wonder why it's not. Show example. Okay, so we all right. So let me just. Okay, so let's just make sure. Hey, Lady Rain description, right? Make sure that's on there. No, it's not on there. So we're not. So I believe that. Just that one little change I did. All right. So I know why. Because I didn't reference. I didn't reference. I forgot to reference that. Save content. I forgot to reference that. Notification. No, 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 no. Parent window, yeah. That's why. That's why it's no good to do um yeah, you are the example. That's why it's no good to use a lot of references. That's why I use a lot of events and stuff like that because it's you tend to forget these things. But then at the con of it is it's hard to debug event listeners and events. So that's the hard part about it. But it's okay. Okay, so now do we have everything in here? Yes, we do. We have Lady Rain here. And so let's make a change and see that works. There we go. Okay. Uploads. It doesn't stay that long. We gotta find. Oh, I know why. Because we're going too fast. All right. So and that's it. That's working with that. That's fine. Now let's do the audit trail. Now with the audit trail. Okay. So if you want this to be a truly professional app. Yeah, right. I mean, man, because you will forget. Yeah, you will forget the references. All right, let me give. Let me. Oh, hold on. Let me display this again. This is not okay. So we have saved. We have edit. So the edit, as you see, no changes to save. All right. So we're not referencing that. First, let's say we do this first. Now let's save it. And yes, you saw it there, but it went too fast. But we can fix that later. All right, so let me talk about the audit trail before I go to a bathroom break. All right, so now we have an audit trail. What an audit trail is just a history of what happens to this sample, and we filled it up right. In order to be a professional limbs product for users, um, the users could use whatever they want, but if they want to be like uh, honest and they have these compliances that they have to fill out, they have to go through, right? So one of them is the audit trail. Now the audit trail, what that is basically just a history of what happened to the sample, like who created the sample, who passed on the sample, who worked on the sample, who updated the sample, what have you, right? You need to have that. It's just a compliant. See, let me make sure that auditor compliancy. Let me get you the name of that compliancy. I forgot to get it. Trail compliancy limbs. What is it? Okay, so all right. So the most critical compliance features of limbs is that it's automatic generation of audit trails. These are immutable. Immutable means you can't change it. Once you set it, you can't change it. You can't update it. So you are not going to change it at all. What that means is um um it has to be set by the computer. Well, anyway, we'll be right back. Let me take a break. Actually, let me take a break. Yeah. All right. Let me get a water break and okay. So splash screen. I'll be right back. Thanks. All right, folks, we're back. Now, back to the issue of audit trails. You see, this stuff is looking terrible, but we'll fix that later on. Audit trails, right? Audit trails are immutable. They can't change once you put them in. They can't be edited or anything like that. Okay, now for chain of custody, it's the same thing too. But what chain of custody is just who's the owner or who's responsible for that sample of during that time, that specific time. And we have that here. Okay. Also, this is also immutable. You shouldn't change it at all. Okay. As you can see here, we loaded 1,200 and it's still going really, really fast. All right. Uh, you can't tell it's a dip in the FPS whatsoever. All right. So now let's go over the audit trail um code, right? And then also what we did was in Supabase, whenever we do an update, it updates the history log table, which is also the audit trail, which doubles as the audit trail and the chain of custody. Okay, you could separate the two if you want to, but I didn't. I just did a criteria. All right. Okay. So then, where is that at? Trail. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So here we go. All right. So as you can see, we have our history log. Where's the history log? Where's the history log? Right here, which doubles for the audit trail and the chain of custody. All right, depending what you want to do. You could separate the two if you want to, but I, I would separate it. Right. Reason being is because one gets the table gets too big, it gets hard to reference and all that stuff. Right. So I would separate the two. All right. Okay. And so what else do we have to go over? We got the code for the audit trail and the history. I mean, and the chain of custody, right? So that's under the panel. So edit panel, edit sample, edit panel. Is it? No, let's edit audit trail right here, and I separated them. Okay, so how do I get? I use the enhanced scroller for the list. And I covered that in the previous videos and stuff like that, but we could cover it up again if you want to. All right, so we have our audit trail panel, which takes, sample parent. I don't like that. We got to change that. Okay, so what we got to do is, I have that code in there already. So basically, load the data and display the data, right? So, uh, on an enable, but we should got to do a callback. I think this does a callback. No, it doesn't. It doesn't load the data, implement the data, or sample. Okay, that's good. All right, so let's go through this code here. All right, so we add the references to the sample parent window, which holds the current data, the current sample. Again, we have to change that later. All right, so with the display field, I was messing around with that. You should just get rid of it. Each panel should have its own reference to the display fields. That's if you want to reuse the display field. Like some panels will cut off on the top and just display the fields, which I don't think is a good idea, but we did it anyway. So we have an enhanced scroller. That's the reference to the enhanced scroller, which will be here. Panel, scroll view, right? And I put the hand scroller on right here on with the scroll view. So follow this pattern all the time. You do scroll view, viewport, and you have the scroll bar left, horizontal and vertical, and then you have the viewport, and the viewport has a content. All right? Okay. All right. So this, I'm sorry. Follow this audit trail, content, panel, and we have the scroll view, viewport, content, and then we have the scroll view on here. scroll view, and enhance scroller. Okay, and then rec mask 2D. That's to so if you don't do that, you get an overlap, which would be here. I'll show you the overlap. Sample overlap. Hey, what's up? Okay, you're welcome. Hey, Scrub Hub World. World. All right. All right, so we get the order trail, and then we have it. What was covering it? Oh, okay. Asserted by, blah, blah, blah. Chain of custody, blah, blah, blah. See, then we got this. This, oh, yeah. If you don't have the mask, you see how you got the overlap? But if we turn on the mask, which is here, you don't get an overlap. Okay, you see it? See it? See it? See it? Okay, cool. Cool beans. All right. Okay, so audit trail code, which is here. Load data, load and display data, load the data. So when we load the data, we want to sample service instance get the history, right? So that's we got that sample service which we loaded up here in the bootstrap, right? And the bootstrap contains a list of services, which is here, which is going to be sample service. Got it? Got it? You got it? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see it. I blocked it. See, it's going to be here. All right. That's our sample service. That's our bootstrap. We covered that several times already. So, hey, welcome, everybody. Okay. All right. So we got that, right? And then back to the code. Okay. Back to the code. Back to the code. Before I lose myself, right? And then we get the history. We got a bunch of, this is going to be an array of histories, log, and then we're going to show, yeah, we got history log, yeah, we got a success, but there was no entries, right? And then we're going to hit refresh if we want to, reload the data if we want to, and then we let enhance scroller just do the initializing and the recycling of the UI elements, correct? Get number of scrolls. This is all what we have to fill. So it makes it very easy. Very, very easy to think. All you have to do is feed it a prefab. And now the prefab I'm going to show you now. Okay, prefab, and what I'm going to show you a trick for the prefab, which is kind of cool. So you don't have to do a lot of work. So your prefab is going to be the same as your header. As you see the header right here, your column headers. Sure, where's my prefab? Here goes my prefabs. Bootstrap sample list history, history entry, and chain of custody. Okay, so now we go into this right here. You'll see your prefab. I see your prefabs are your columns. Let me turn off the background here. Main camera, solid color. Yeah, I did solid colors. Solid colors output. I don't want no skybox. All right. And so yeah, so this is your prefab, and your prefab is basically going to be the copy of your header file. So when you do run it here, see this is your header, this is your header, and you're just gonna drag and drop and make it a prefab, and then you're gonna attach the whatever script you need. Okay, and so thus you'll get always a perfect alignment. No, no, no. The headers are not the same as HTML headers. I'm gonna draw it up for you. All right, I'm gonna just let it run real quick. Let me show you this, and I'm gonna build one for you as an example. All right, you see? So they're perfectly aligned. Later on, we're gonna click. We're gonna have it there'd be buttons, and when you click on the event, it will just list that one instead of that one. But as you can see, you have all types, right? You have priorities, urgent, and only give me all statuses or just the ones that are received. And then from date, whatever you want, from 1970 to whatever date you want, which would be to that. You see what I'm saying? All right, and you could clear all headers. All right. Oh, okay. Wow, so organized. I don't know if I'm that organized, but we'll get there. All right, so here we go. She asked me to build how to build the prefab for it, right? So what we're gonna do is gonna click on here, and I got this download, which is this plugin, which is called Table Layout. It's free. You don't have to spend any money on it, right? So you say free. So they said we only need one row, right? And they said we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 of them. All right, and we say add table layout. So this called table layout. Actually, we're gonna uh, put it here. Where is it? Oh, okay. I want to add a layout element to it. We want to do the height. We want it only to be. We want the width to be as far as we want, right? And then we want only the height to be like 50 or 75, right? And so, hold on a second. I think I'm gonna put it here. Here we go. So here we go. So fit is it's okay. It's down here. We just for some reason it went down there. All right. I don't want to get into it, but okay. So then we have in the parent. Yeah. If it's in the parent, we go back here. It goes to table layout, right? And here goes the row, right? And here goes the cell, right? So each cell will point to each one right there, as you can see, right? And then we could add whatever you want to add in there. You want to add in, oh, what was it? UI. Right click here and go to UI. And you say, I want to do a text in here. You could just mess around with the text all you want. So this is, I want it to be auto size. I want it to be roboto. And I want it to be centered horizontally and centered vertically. Okay? All right. So now in this cell, let's say in this cell we need a button. So you go to UI, you go to button, there you go. See, it'll cover the whole thing. And then you could adjust the button how you want it. Again, you gotta mess with that. Right? It's already set to button. It says lady, right? Rain, lady rain. And then you do it the rest for the other buttons, right? And then what you do is you make this a prefab and then you add the script to that prefab and you're done. And then what you do is let me take this off. On the enhanced scroller, let's see here, scroll area, no. Enhanced scroller, edit, no, not edit. No, not that. Enhanced scroller, which would be the panel tabs. Sorry, I got that window error. Okay, so panel tabs, right? Not the button, the content, sample search, scroll view. Here is where you put your row prefab, which is right here, which is the one that I have, right? And then what enhanced scroller would do is just read that. It will instantiate all the rows that you need, and then recycle the rows, and thus is why you're getting really fast FPS when you're listing stuff. Yeah, you don't have but it is enhanced scroller is a plugin that you don't have to do all the instantiating and alignment for. It'll do it for you. All right, and that's it. Yeah, yeah, cool. So it's not just for limbs or anything. It works for games, straight out games. You know, like your games have a lot of inventory and you want to scroll down, it will do it for it, and it won't slow down the game at all because it recycles the last one and the first one. And so what you're doing is just you recycling the actual data of it and the pictures and all that stuff like that. Does that make sense? Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. So it's a good plugin to use. They have several of them. Yeah, but it's a good plugin to use. I'm just using it for boring stuff. Yeah, just boring stuff. All right. So that's how we do it. That's how we do it for the prefab for the enhanced scroller, right? And the reason why these align so well is because I use that. Yeah. Does clog with so much coding? What does that mean? Yeah. No, 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 no. It doesn't get clogged. Okay. All right. So we have you see here because I used what I did was I made the header the same as this and I just drag and drop made it a prefab and and added the script to make it a prefab, the prefab script. Oh, you see how it lines perfectly well with that one? doesn't doesn't clog, doesn't with so much coding. Yeah, you don't have to do as much coding. I like I said before. Yeah, coding a lot helps you out in the beginning because it makes you understand your mistakes and all that. But I mean, once you're an adult and you're trying to make a living, yeah, make yourself as do it. Write as little code as you can, because writing code over and over again is not gonna help you. You need to be productive. You need to make money, and it makes sense anyway. The less code you have, the less bugs you have. So the less headaches you have, and the more productive and more features you can add later on. So it makes total sense just to do it that way. All right. So now let's move on to let me see sample types. All right. So samples, right? Let's say a doctor orders a sample on some patients. Correct. You need to add a sample type to the sample. You need to tell it what is actually gonna eh, 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 what the sample is actually for, right? And so on the next scene when we write uh when we finish this scene, the sample scene, we need to go and make a test scene, and that will hold all our testers, right? But you always treat every part of your program as a minimal viable product, which means the sample scene. Can't people can you sell the app on just the sample scene alone? Yes, you can. So we need to do that. And what we're gonna do is later on, we're gonna make this into a web app plus a desktop app, right? And we're gonna set up the database for use on the internet, and then everybody's gonna be able to test it. But before you do that, you gotta make sure that everything's working because investors are gonna come around, and if there's one mistake, they won't invest in it. You know how they are. So yeah. So anyway, sample types, right? Let's go back to samples. Sample types are the type of samples that you are going to do. What are you going to do, and which sample types will help us determine what tests we need to run for our samples. All right. So we hit play here. You're gonna see here play. Oh, don't worry about your kids. I love your kids. All right, and so here we have our sample types. This is the list of the sample types that we have. We have a blood, SC, SSV, CSF, I'm sorry, and other plasma, serum, stool. You're going to have a lot, right? You need to support thousands and thousands and thousands of sample types, right? So when we go back over here and we edit here, we go up, sample type, you're going to see what we have on that list is going to be here. Okay. And how do you do that? Well, the sample types has a table, a sample type table. And here it goes. Let me see. Let me see. No, not that one. There we go. So we have sample types right here. We have sample types table. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, right? And then if you go back to the screen over here, we are going to have, let me see what we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, reason why, yeah, we have 12, right? Okay, so what I did was on the sample table, we have two different types of samples. We have a global sample and a samples with tenant ID. Now, the tenant ID is we want to be able to use the same database and the same app for every organization, but not every organization is going to want to share their data. All right. So, thus, we split that up into a tenant table, and it'll be Mount Sinai has one version, and then what's it? Saint Order of Jealous Maid has another version, what have you, and that's how we're gonna do it, right? That's how we're gonna split it up. Now you can have a set of sample types that's global, right? Where everybody, like blood, everybody has a sample type of blood, right? You know what I'm saying? And there's no secret to that. So we're gonna support a default set of sample types, and we're gonna call that globally. And then we're gonna have other sample types that's gonna be tenant wise, which means only that organization is able to touch that sample type. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah, they have a that how they have that Epic app for each. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for each one. So Epic did that too as well. All right. So that's what we're doing here. Okay. All right. And so what else is there? Yeah, exactly. So Epic. No, 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 not really, not really. Okay, so a global type is, let's say, let's move on to this, right? This move. Okay, so let's say everybody has a blood type, right? That would be a default. Maybe you shouldn't name it the global. Maybe I'll name it differently. Let me switch terminology. So basically, the default sample types would be blood, plasma, serum, swab, right? Yeah. Yeah. All right, swab, right? Okay, swab, right? But let's say some hospital or clinic or research laboratory has a super duper secret squirrel sample type that they made up, right? They don't want to share that with everybody else, so that's their sample type. Does that make sense? Yeah, yeah, you're learning something on Kick. Yeah, that's their sample type, and nobody's gonna change that. You get it now? So that's their sample type will be a tenant, and their tenant ID is another UI ID. So you keep all the secret. Now it's just not for sample types. It will be samples is based on tenant type at all. There's no global samples at all. Nobody's able to share samples between organization at all unless they want to. If you want to, then we have another table that says this tenant is friends are these. You could do that if you want to, right? Because a lot of times organizations do share data, but they had to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So or they're just doing that, right? Um, and that's fine, right? But you should separate data between each other because you are going to sell this application individually to others unless somebody wants to buy it and they have to buy seats and all that other stuff like that. You do got to pay for maintenance on the database because things are going to go wrong and you have to pay people to do it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So basically, I said we got that concept. All right, we have a tenant and default or slash global, right? Global means it's shared between everybody. That's why we call it global or default, right? And then tenant means specific people can you can only see it, right? Doesn't matter if they share it with somebody else or whatever. You could combine tenants if you want to. All right, does that make sense? Okay, so now, so we need to what we need to do. We need to build out a sample panel ID. I mean sample panel windows, which we'll cover that later. And that's it, right? And so then, other than that, sample. Okay, so let's go through the thing. For the sample scene, we need to have a sample, a list of samples, correct? And the pop-up window, which we have already, right? Right, with the chain of custody and all that. All right, we have a refresh one. We have a refresh button as well. So you see it down here, refresh button, refresh button, refresh button. Okay, we'll make all this stuff look really pretty later, right? And then we have our sample types, which is what we need when we create a new sample. Again, I'm showing you here, displaying it, edit, sample, sample type. Okay. All right, and then we get those sample types from here, as you can see, right? Urine, right? Okay. Then we need the ability to add a new sample and a new sample type. So far we got a new sample. Like here, I'm gonna say sample name. Add a patient. We look up patients this way. We want to add this patient, which is Mark Williams, right? We want to run a plasma. We want to get a plasma sample on Mark Williams, and then we need it right away because I'm uber arrogant doctor and I always go first. You, right? And then we create it. It should pop up. Oh wait a minute. Let's do this. Let's do it again. All right. So we want to. I guess this is the brain. We want a plasma. We want Uber. Oh, doctor. Butthead. Sorry. And I'm gonna say create. Please select a patient. Okay, so we got validation. Okay, add a patient. So let's go Elizabeth Torres. We got Elizabeth Torres, and we're gonna create it. See, as you saw, the list went down, and Elizabeth Torres is right there. Now, isn't that cool? And so, if you want to double check, you can also check with the uh uh your database if you want to. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so that part is working. Now we're gonna go edit Elizabeth Torres. So this is just for me. You don't have to have this. This is not gonna this shouldn't be appear this shouldn't appear on the user's UI. It's just for us as developers to um um display. But what you can add some script in it and say, hey, if this is the productive the prod dev, I mean the prod application, the actual application, then just don't show it. You could do that. Okay, that makes sense, right? And so, hey, I fucked up on the sample. I messed up. I don't need a plasma. What I'm gonna do, I want a first, and that's what you do, right? And then I want to describe it. Description is for sexy Latin lady. I'm just, I shouldn't be joking like that, but I don't care. So we save it, and we saved it, and then if you see sexy amino Dr. Butthead notes, right, and you go like this again, amino Dr. Butthead, and this is what was it? Yeah, that pretty much, yeah. And that's it, yeah. Oh yeah, take your time. Bye, bye, Lady Rain. Thank you for passing by. Yeah, no problem. Okay. All right, so that's it for the set. That's how we're gonna do everything. All right, and so now we have to list the recent activities, which we are going to. It should have saved it here on a table over here, and then we have a queue, and then we have the quick action sample, right? We'll go through the quick action sample real quick. Tab content should be quick actions. Quick actions was the last one, right? There we go. We got a quick actions right there. Very easy to just update this. And so on this part, we need to add uh, add sample type. Okay, and it's gonna be sample type, and that's pretty much that's how fast it is. Reason why it's fast is because we made the list first, and then all right. Good night, Lady Rain. And that's it, man. That's all we gotta do. All right. I think I'm gonna call it off here. Good night. Thank you so much. Remember, we have limbs tomorrow at 7 p.m. I'll work on all morning. Um, see how far I can get. We're gonna try to finish. We gotta add the queue. We gotta add what is it? Recent activities, and then we're gonna add two and make sure. Actually, no. Let's not cut it off right here. Let's tie up. Oh no no no. Yeah, we should, because we need to get the scan barcode. Actually, let's go over it. So all right, let's go over it. So we're gonna go to Unity Asset Store. Well, actually no, yeah. We're gonna go to Unity Asset Store. We need to get the barcode and QR code. We'll do that tomorrow. Then we do the batch update. I'll tell you what that means. Print labels. We need to import samples, and then we need to export samples via CSV, right? And then we could do that, and we could do that. We could do that, and we could go on from there. All right. Thanks, folks, for stopping by. Again, we got tomorrow's retro noon time. I don't want to call it hour because